MMAWeekly.com, Damon Martin here in Columbus, Ohio with #1 contender in the bantamweight division, Ronda Rousey. And Ronda, the fight just got announced. It is the main event for March 3rd in Ohio. You lobbied for this fight, you wanted this fight, now you get the main event. Any extra pressure now?
No, I mean, it's not like Olympics pressure. It's not like I've been preparing for 4 years for this one day. You know, I feel like MMA matches are easier and then I get to take them one at a time. And I'm actually super excited that the women are going to be the main event on the Strikeforce card again.
A lot of people would say, you know, you obviously called out Nisha after your last fight. You're 4-0 as a pro, 3-0 in amateur as well. But to answer the critics, why do you deserve this?
I deserve this because I think the other two girls have records that are more impressive than their actual performances, and I think that my performances are more impressive than, you know, my record is numerically. And I feel like I also have, you know, the Olympic background, which should be in my credit, and I've done a lot to try and promote this fight and generate interest in it. And, you know, I don't think that I should be criticized for being smarter than the other girls that missed out on the title.
When you talk about that, I mean, we see it in MMA a lot. You look at guys like Chael Sonnen, who, you know, come out and say what he wants to say and gets a lot of attention for it, and it goes back into the promotion side of it. Is that as important? I mean, obviously fight skill is #1, but at the same time, is promoting it, I mean, do you think people would have the same interest in seeing Nisha fight Sarah Kaufman again?
No, I don't think that people would have the same interest in watching people fight Sarah Kaufman, and that's why they're not fighting again, because they fought once before, and it wasn't a very exciting fight. You know, it went to decision like a lot of their fights do, and it's not really what fans want to see. You know, the fans want to be entertained, and the promotion side of it is part of the entertainment, and the fight itself is part of the entertainment. And if you're not doing anything to promote the fight, and you're not fighting in a very exciting way, you can't really expect people to want to see it.
When you called out Nisha, you said you wanted this fight before she, you know, had a chance to fight anybody else. You wanted to fight her right away. Was it more about the title, or was it more about Nisha that you wanted to fight?
It's both, because I think a fight between me and her would be much easier to sell than a fight between me and Sarah Kaufman or Alexis Davis, one of those other lesser-known girls, because not just because of her fighting record, but I think that her style matches up very well with mine, and I think that it's an easier fight to sell, and it would be a great way to actually get both of our names out there more, would be to fight each other.
You see a lot of times when fighters have, you know, early fights, quick fights, you have 4 first-round finishes in your pro career, that question comes up. It came up a lot with Shane Carwin, if you remember that, when he was fighting and they said, you know, can he go past the first round? What happens? You know, and it kind of backfired on him in the Lesnar fight a little bit. For you, I mean, do you answer those critics by saying just wait and see, or do you think maybe you could put Nisha away in the first round?
I think that, you know, the Olympics is extremely difficult, and Olympic judo is even more difficult. You weigh in that morning, and you could have up to, you know, 6 fights, and whereas I would fight and then run around to the back and go and fight again and again and again, and I would fight pretty much 6 matches in a row without any rest. And so I know that my conditioning is not a factor, and I'm happy that my fight's been, you know, ending quickly, and I know that getting the ring experience, because I've actually been inside the cage for less than 1 round. It's like all my amateur and pro fights together, it's like something like 4 minutes something, you know, and I do need that experience to be in the cage for that amount of time. But I think that the 135 title is it's a good place for me to do that, you know, because it's a more high-profile fight, it's more pressure, and, you know, if it goes the full 5 rounds, I think that'd be a real test for me. So I think it's going to be a much more exciting fight for everybody because I'm not tested yet.
If you look at Nisha's career, you know, you hate to peg anyone as one style of fighter, but I think most people would say she's more of a wrestler and grappler, which seems to play into your style. So, I mean, do you like that type of matchup? Do you think there's a chance this would stay standing, or do you see her style pretty much playing right into your hand?
Well, I think that if she tries to stay standing, she will be very surprised at how I actually am on my feet. And I think that her style really plays perfectly into mine, because I train with wrestlers all the time, and I train with grapplers all the time, whereas she doesn't have any high-level judo players to, you know, to train with. So there's no way that she could really prepare for me in the way I could prepare for her, so I feel like it's a big advantage in my favor.
The women's division has gotten a lot more attention since you've come on the scene. Gina Carano's gone, but the last time Strikeforce was here in Columbus, last year, the fight between Liz Carmouche and Marlis Kunin actually got higher ratings on Showtime than the fight between Dan Henderson and Rafael Feijão. Do you think you can carry that torch with this card as well? I mean, are you, with being the main event, is that kind of the goal to really put the women on display and show people that not only are you worthy of having a place in the sport, but you can sell a fight? This is a main event fight.
That's what I'm really trying to do, and that's what I'm really hoping for. Only the numbers will tell by the end of the day, but I'm really excited about being given this chance. And hopefully, people cruising through the channels will see a fight between me and Nisha, and, think they should stay and linger a while and stay and learn a little bit more and stay and, start generating some interest in women's MMA. I think this is exactly what we need, to have women just to have a chance to be the main event and see how we do, So I'm excited, I'm nervous, and I hope the numbers are good.
Well, if it's another first round finish, you're not going to have a chance to really flip by and stay, right? I mean, come on.
That's also true. I don't know. We'll see.
So March 3rd, Columbus, Ohio, Nationwide Arena. How does this fight end?
How does it end? It ends with me winning. I don't know how. We only really plan the first exchange of my fights, and the rest of it is up to my judgment. So we'll see what happens. A lot of times in fights I'll make up something I've never even done before. It just seems right at the moment. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Thank you, Ronda.
Thanks.